The Brew House was created to capture and share with you the long history of the Genesee Brewery. But the brewery itself isn't half as interesting as the beer and the people who make it. Visit GeneseeBrewHouse.com. Hi everyone, welcome to the Rochester Press Box, presented by the Genesee Brew House. I'm Bill Pucko. It is Super Bowl week, so naturally Sal Maiorana from the Democrat Chronicle is here, although you and Mike had both sworn earlier this season that you'd both be working this week.
Oh, yeah.
Covering the game.
I jumped all over that. I knew I'd be at Tutulio's party for Championship Sunday and was pretty sure I would be here too.
Well, it's good to have you back. Sort of a tradition. And of course, Pat Duffy, what are you wearing this week?
In honor of the XFL documentary, the 30 for 30 on ESPN, it's the Memphis Maniacs XFL jersey from that one season where they played back there. I love this thing. It's my favorite.
Excellent.
Fits you well.
Let's talk Super Bowl. Sal, my first thing, to this point, 51 years in, are we still making too big a deal of this game in terms of everything that goes into it?
Well, I mean, it is the biggest football game of the year, and football is our nation's biggest sport. So I wouldn't say that it's overdone. The hype and the media and all that is overdone, but the game itself is still it's the biggest game of the year. So we should be excited about it. I think the matchup this year is pretty compelling with the Patriots and Falcons. So no, I don't think from a football standpoint it's overdone. It's just all the other nonsense that surrounds this week. It already started Monday night with that opening night, which has become a joke. I mean, it was bad enough just having the regular media days. Now they got to do a live broadcast production. It's just kind of silly, but it's the Super Bowl and America loves it. So
it is like America in a nutshell, right?
It is.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I tuned in to watch that media thing, and I went on NFL.com to see how much those special edition hoodies that all those guys wore out on the stage were. Listen, I mean, as much as you want to kill the NFL for overexposure and stuff, they know what they're doing, and everything is done down to a T. I mean, the NFL and Disney are essentially the same company, right? All the right moves, they keep you compelled, they keep you entertaining. Even in complaining about what happened the other night, people are giving it publicity across Twitter. That's how I saw it. That's why I tuned in. Sometimes you take your head off and go, wow, you guys know what you're doing.
All right, I have a thought on it that in terms of the players getting ready for the game, I think it's easier now than it was a few years ago. Because years ago, it was more events and things that players, maybe some of the Bills guys, go off and do on their own. There was easier ways to sort of separate. Now it is a show. It's another show. It's more a controlled show. So now everybody's expected a certain thing, and it's a little harder in a way for a guy to go off the reservation. It does happen on occasion. So it's not like focus. Let me look at these guys. Even Belichick smiled on Monday, right? So it's a little easier to say, this is what we're doing. We know what it is. We accept it. And then to focus on the game as it goes along, especially when you have the 2 weeks, and they do a lot of the football stuff to prep leading into that week, and then they get ready for the game. So I don't think it bothers the players as much as it might have, say, 10, 12 years ago.
Two things about the game. I'm just going to throw out, to kick it around. First, the thing about Belichick always takes away your biggest asset. Well, if that's true, how come everyone doesn't do that? And I don't know what makes him so special in that regard. And the second thing is that the line hasn't moved. Everyone acts like the Patriots are a two-touchdown favorite. It's 3, and it stayed there. Atlanta's right there.
Well, I think because Atlanta is an undervalued team. I've said all along this year, I thought Atlanta was the best team in the NFC, even though everyone was on Dallas's bandwagon. And I think I told you at the party last week, if Dallas had played Atlanta and that game would have been in Dallas, I would have picked the Falcons. I think they're the best team by far, and I think they're the one. I think Dallas could have given the Patriots a very good game, obviously, the way they run it. But I think Atlanta, with this diverse offense, can really create some problems. But you're right. Belichick does do the one thing that no one else can do as well. He takes the best weapon away.
But why doesn't everybody do that? Why didn't Rex Ryan, defensive genius,
good enough
attempt
to do it? Not everyone's good enough to do it, nor do they have the talent to do it. The Patriots do.
And here's another thing about the Patriots. 7th Super Bowl, right? Look back on their last 6. They won 2 of them on a last field goal. They lost crazy games at the end. Eagles had a ball with a chance to tie at the end of the game. Carolina had tied it late. Every one of their Super Bowls has come down to, on the last or next to the last play, the decision could have gone either way. It happened against them a couple of times. So as awesome of a franchise as they have been, their Super Bowl games are always highly competitive and close. And I think that's sort of been their history. And what makes the difference? Brady and Belichick, close games, all those things that go with them, and a little bit of luck going for them and a little bit of luck against them in those close games.
Last word on the game?
I mean, the reason why nobody thinks Atlanta has a chance in this game is for some reason nobody has seen Atlanta. When's the last time Atlanta was the game of the week up here in Western New York and the Northeast at all? So Atlanta's very good. Nobody knows because nobody's seen Atlanta play. But, I mean, listen, Vegas knows. You see that line. I think Atlanta's going.
8-8 a year ago, 6-10 the year before. There's got to be hope for the Bills. We'll talk about that next. This is the Rochester Press Box presented by the Genesee Brew House. The Press Box, brought to you in part by Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys. Call 262-COMP, C-O-M-P, today. Welcome back to the Rochester Press Box, presented by the Genesee Brew House, and this portion brought to you by Connors and Ferris. Mike, is it fair to point out that the Atlanta Falcons over the last 2 years have won the same number of games prior to this, the same number of games as the Buffalo Bills, and to think that that gives the Bills any hope?
It's fair to point it out, but it doesn't because of Matt Ryan. I mean, that was one of those jobs, that Rex Ryan was up for that job or wanted that job in Atlanta. What was the key to that job? You had Matt Ryan there. The Bills don't have Matt Ryan. And that's the difference. And Matt Ryan has been, yes, they potentially have a receiver and maybe the defense can be better, all those things. But that job with Dan Quinn took over, had Matt Ryan. Shanahan did a great job sort of getting him back up to the level that he had played earlier in his career. And that's the difference between the two. Get a quarterback and maybe you can do it.
You're the big Bills apologist here. Can you see a path at all for Buffalo to somehow become relevant next year?
I told you, I think when Rex went, this team takes a step back no matter what. And the whole Matt Ryan thing, it's easy now that they're in the Super Bowl to say, well, he was a quarterback, he got a quarterback. You said it yourself. I mean, Matt Ryan's career has been up and down a little bit, right? So you're not sure if Matt Ryan is Dan Marino or if he's Ryan Tannehill when you're walking into that job. So, yeah, I'll give Dan Quinn a ton of credit, but it was no guarantee that you had yourself a legitimate quarterback taking that job.
He's better than Ryan Tannehill.
Oh, yes, we know that now, but he could have gone in this season. I mean, they were 8-8 last year. There's a step or two back, and, I mean, yes, now it looks like it, but last year going into the season, Tyrod Taylor versus Matt Ryan, was there that much of a difference in people's minds?
Yes, there was a big difference. Absolutely a big difference. Look, this isn't even a topic, Bill. There is no comparison between Atlanta and Buffalo because of one thing, well, two things. The quarterback, obviously, and the other thing, Atlanta does not play in the AFC East, where the New England Patriots have resided and dominated and provide the Bills absolutely zero hope of ever winning the division. Until Belichick and Brady are gone, the Bills will not win that division, and therefore, every year, they have to go fight 13 other teams for 2 wild card spots. They're not good enough to do it, and like I said, the Patriots are the biggest reason why there's no comparison between the Bills and the Falcons situation.
Rex Ryan had parting shots that you documented. Is this just a grumpy guy
Not
going
surprised.
out the door?
I mean, he has a relationship with the writer from the Daily News, Manish Mehta, who wrote the story. They've been pals, actually, the one guy that he actually did get along with. So you could see that was going to come, and you could have almost predicted it was going to be Super Bowl week because Rex loves that big bang. He was silent for a month, but you knew that this did not go down very well for Rex Ryan. He was mad that he got fired, didn't think he deserved it. Quite frankly, I didn't think he deserved it either, but I'm not surprised that he finally spoke out about it. I was a little surprised by the swear words that he threw the Pagula's way. That was surprising. Well, I mean, on the record, I was surprised that he said that. He could have said that off the record. That caught me by surprise. But I knew he was bitter about it, and that article clearly pointed out that he was.
He had a month to think about taking the high road.
Look, he didn't take anywhere near the high road. The writer in the Daily News is his PR flack. I mean, he basically wrote a PR piece for him. There was nothing negative. And that guy who covers the Jets taking shots at the Bills. Look, the Bills deserve a lot of shots, but seriously, the Jets, they're as or more dysfunctional than Buffalo. Rex had his own set of facts in terms of what happened, made it seem like nothing was his fault, I thought. Biggest blame he took was that he set the bar too high. Seriously, he didn't even keep the bar where it was before he got there. So I was a little disappointed in him, to be honest with you. I thought he could have just said, look at what they've been. I could have made it better. It's their fault for pushing me out the door. But he went a step or two farther and took basically none of the blame.
No, but it's funny. I've been hearing this for the last, couple days. He went too far. I didn't expect this out of Rex. What about Rex Ryan previous? Did you not expect that he was going to come out and say, this was not my fault. I am upset by what happened. I got screwed by the deal. That's kind of his thing, right? I'm a happy, fun guy. Hey, he's like stepdad, right? We're going to go to the mall. We're going to go to Dave & Buster's. We're going to play video games. Oh, wait, they got sick throwing up. I was just trying to have a good time. It's all your fault. You should have told me not to feed him the
Is this a guy who still wants to coach in the NFL?
No.
I don't think he does.
No,
he's not going to come back as an assistant or a coordinator. He's going to be head coach or nothing. And I think once he gets a taste of the media life and how good that is, I think Rex is done. Rex is going to have a very good and perhaps lengthy career as a media person.
I think as long as he doesn't, if he doesn't try too hard, if he's got a good personality. I think he's pretty quick-witted. I think he can say things. If he doesn't try too hard to always have the one-liner, I think he'll be good. But as far as coaching, no one should hire him as a coordinator based on what he did to the Bills' defense. And really, I don't know who the team is that out of the blue is going to make him the head coach again.
This is the Rochester Press Box, presented by the Genesee Brew House. Portion brought to you by Connors and Ferris, who want you to know they're picking the Atlanta Falcons this week. Like It or Not is next. The Press Box Trivia Question, brought to you by Sleep City. Queen adjustable bed with memory foam mattress, now $977. Save over $500. Shop Rochester's only locally owned mattress store. No pressure, no hassle sales experience. Here's a look at the Press Box Trivia answer, brought to you by Sleep City. Queen adjustable bed with memory foam mattress, now $977. You save over $500. Shop Rochester's only locally owned mattress store. No pressure, no hassle sales experience. See New York in a whole new way. Amtrak is offering a 15% discount for all travel inside New York State and Montreal. Visit Amtrak.com for the See New York discount. Safe, comfortable, affordable, and easy. Amtrak. Enjoy the journey. Welcome back to the Rochester Press Box, presented by the Genesee Brew House, and this portion brought to you by Amtrak Trains. Enjoy the journey. It's like it or not. Anybody here is bothered by the Roman numerals of the Super Bowls as I am?
Big time. Wasn't it wonderful last year that they went to Super Bowl 50 because it was the 50th? I loved it. I can't figure out, I learned Roman numerals, when we were 8 years old, and haven't used them since. I can't figure out at all what's moving forward, what these games are going to look like. I have no clue. Luckily, the Bills played when they did, because I could figure out the XXII. That was easy.
We have to figure it out.
Okay,
you got to translate it and then subtract it by the date so you know what year the game took place.
I don't have a problem with it.
Because here's the thing. I don't know what Super Bowl it is. Well, you remember last year's Super Bowl, whatever that number was? Add one, and that's the Roman numeral.
You know what? The only thing that bothers me about it is it adds to the pretentious NFL. They think everything they do is glorious, so they keep the Roman numerals and whatever. Yeah, I could do without them, too.
Can't we just make one thing fancy? Can't we have one nice thing that's shiny and not normal?
Are you going to tell us that nothing about the NFL is fancy? They need one more thing that's fancy?
When it comes to their fan base, listen, there's a negative view of hardcore football fans in this country after what happened this season, right? Loud, beer drinking, fat, rib eating, bleh.
All true.
This is all true.
But this is a little bit classy. It's like a tuxedo of a number you get to wear to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Well, look, like it or not, the over/under is 58.5 on this. Aside that, teams that have scored 30 points in a Super Bowl are 25-2. These things collide in this game, don't they?
Yeah. I would think you look at Atlanta and all the points they've scored. I mean, they can move the ball, and they will. I think the difference will be, it's a simple thing, but we talk about what New England does. Can they hold that Atlanta team to field goals? We saw with Green Bay. I mean, Atlanta was, when they were close, they just knocked it in every time. That's what New England tends to do. I think it's going to be one of those games that maybe gets off to a bit, maybe that each team scores a quick touchdown, then there's a lull for a while. But I think both these offenses will eventually move the ball. If I'm taking the under-over, I'm going over in it.
All right, like it or not, football food. How do you like to watch the Super Bowl, Duffy?
with as much food as possible. There's a rule I have in my house, or if I'm going to somebody else's home. The person hosting provides 1 entree, right, and 3 side dishes. And then everyone else brings a side dish. You have like 7 little side things to choose from, and then 1 big thing. But pizza is played out. You got to do something fancy. I love my pizza. Pizza can be there, but there has to be something cool and unique beside the pizza. Whatever that is, it's up to you. But no, I will judge you if I go to your house and it's only like pizza and wings.
Yeah.
Fancy it up a little bit. Roman numeral food me.
Well, that's what I was going to say. We get wings, but I always get like XXII amount of wings, and that's what we bring into the house.
This is the Rochester Press Box presented by the Genesee Brew House. This portion was brought to you by Amtrak Trains. Unfinished Business is next. The Press Box Stat of the Week brought to you by Fiondoc and Fiondoc. Remember, if you've made the wrong choice, it's time to make the right choice. Fiondoc and Fiondoc, New York's DWI leader for over 35 years. Visit nydwi.com. Dunkin's specialty crafted coffees, macchiato, latte, Americano, and cold brew, made to make your day. America runs on Dunkin'. Welcome back to the Rochester Press Box, presented by the Genesee Brew House. This is Unfinished Business, brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. Pat.
Perspective. My dad had a heart attack last week. Lance Duffy works for the Gates Police Department. You may see it in the news. Everybody that's reached out to the family, thank you so much. It's been overwhelming. We appreciate it. But he was hurting for a while. He was out of a coma, and things are moving slowly but surely. There's good days and there's bad days. And things have been pretty rough for the family. What was amazing to me is earlier this week, I went to the hospital to watch the Sabres-Canadiens game with him, and things have been really hard for him. He's frustrated. He doesn't know what's going on all the time. But for that 60 minutes of hockey that game was on, instead of complaining about how he feels or sometimes not knowing where he is or what's going on, he got to complain about Rasmus Ristolainen not laying out on a 2-on-1 and taking an easy knee out of it. I guess what I'm saying is he's got a Frank Reich jersey hanging in his room and a Joe Carter jersey hanging in his room, and he's wearing his Sabres sweatshirt and his Sabres winter hat, and that stuff all makes him smile. And this week I finally realized, right, we take this stuff way too seriously. All of us complaining about Roman numerals, which we all do, right, or who should be the quarterback, and why Rex Ryan's a piece of crap. When it comes down to it, this is all a big distraction, and it's been something that my dad could latch onto and make him smile. So, from now on, and maybe, I guess for the next couple of days, I'm not going to take this stuff as serious until he's out of the hospital, in which case I'll be cursing and yelling back again with the rest of you.
We can't wait for that. Thank you, Pat. Sal.
Duffy, that was well said, by the way. I appreciated that. I'm going to talk about a subject that rankles me to no end. Going back to the year 2003, when the world was a wonderful place and Boston teams couldn't win championships. It was a glorious time. With all apologies to Bill Pucko, who is a Boston sports fan, this group of people is the most condescending fan base in the history of fan bases. Dan Shaughnessy, who writes for the Boston Globe, who I respect greatly, tremendous writer, Hall of Fame writer in the Baseball Hall of Fame, wrote a column last week after the Falcons won the championship game, saying that, oh my, why do we have to play these lowly Falcons in the Super Bowl? Are you kidding me? Are you really kidding me with that, Dan Shaughnessy? And Boston fans play right into this. These people are so entitled, it drives me insane. Come live in Buffalo, where there is no hint of a championship anywhere in the history of the city, unless you count those AFL titles back in the 60s. Boston fans, get a grip and stop thinking that you are the only place on earth where winning sports franchises exist. Drives me insane, Bill. Hate to tell you that.
Condescending, you know what you're talking about. Most of us don't particularly care for Dan Shaughnessy, to tell you the truth.
I think he's a great writer, but man, that column pushed me over the edge.
Speaking of places that don't win, how about Cleveland? And how about what LeBron James did this week? And I got to say, when it's all said and done, I'm on Charles Barkley's side on this. I've kind of rooted for LeBron. I like that he went back to Cleveland. I like that he got him the championship. But his whining and complaining about the Cavs not doing enough to help him, yeah, I get it. Golden State is better than you. They have more talent than you, and it's going to be awful tough to get another title. But you got to give the Cavs and their ownership credit. They've paid people. They've paid who LeBron has wanted. He wants more. Sure, he wants more. Everybody wants another playmaker, another great player, but they've done it. And then Charles Barkley came out and ripped him. And the return by LeBron was to get really personal on Barkley. And Barkley, has done a lot of things. But in fairness, when Barkley ripped LeBron, it was strictly about basketball. And LeBron sounded petty and childish in doing it. Look, LeBron, I know you want more. I know you want to try to get another title. I know you're worried about your legacy. But go out and play. Hope that your Cavs get help. Go to your general manager privately and your owner and try to get some help. And don't get in a war of words with Barkley, because big old Chuck will end up winning that.
And besides, LeBron's real problem as a player is with LeBron, the general manager.
Right. He wanted guys, and he got them all paid, and now they don't have the money to do other things.
This portion of the Rochester Press Box brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. Sal, great having you. Do you got a pick for us quickly?
I'm going to pick the Patriots because it's just too hard
Give
to
me a
pick
score.
against Brady. I'm going to say like 31-28, something like that.
Alrighty. Mike?
I'm going to pick the Patriots too, but I'm rooting for the Falcons. I'll say 37-34, high-scoring game, field goal to win it at the end.
Falcons, high 20s, they win by 2.
Cool.
Wow.
I got the Pats. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week with the Rochester Press Box presented by the Genesee Brew House.